Hey everyone, just like I've been late to the party on some of the games I've been talking about on the Battling My Backlog videos, I'm also quite late to the game on another thing, and this may surprise some of the ones out there that know what a music lover I am. But I only recently started using Spotify, and I know I kind of sound like your aging uncle that goes, "Did you know they make USB sticks now?" Or something. I don't know, I don't really have a lot of aging uncles I communicate with, so I don't really know what technological wonder they're late to discovering, but I was late to using Spotify. I'd already discovered it, of course, but to begin with, it was a sort of like a stance. They don't really pay artists a lot, so I was using Bandcamp a lot, and I still use Bandcamp a lot, but it got to the point where I thought, actually, fuck it, I think I'm gonna start using Spotify. So, started using it, and for the first few days, to be honest, I was kind of training Spotify to know what I liked. But I wanted to make this video not just to talk about that I've suddenly started using Spotify, but to mention 3 discoveries I've made because of me training Spotify to know what I like. So what I mean by training it is I started listening to a load of bands that I really like, and I tried to diversify it, listen to a bit of hardcore, a bit of emo, a bit of electronic music, a bit of metal, a bit of prog, a bit of gent, a bit of everything really. And what came out of it was a few really cool discoveries of bands that I didn't know, but probably with at least one of them should have gotten into them a while ago. So I'll start with that one, and I'll say I was apparently way behind on the band The Bled. So if you already know them, then you might be sitting there thinking, how the hell didn't I already listen to them? If you haven't heard of them, but you like bands like Fear Before, Glassjaw, Dillinger, some, sort of mid-2000s post-hardcore with a bit of metal in it, even a bit of unearth in some of the riffs, sort of about the mid part of the band, definitely check out The Bled. I listened to pretty much their whole discography yesterday while reading a book that I'm working my way through, and holy shit, I really got into it. Some great vocals. It does, on some albums, you really feel that it is sort of a MySpacey vibe, which at times was fine, which at times I felt like it hadn't aged great, but at the same time I really got into it, and it's pretty sick, to be honest, and I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't check them out all those years ago. I remember seeing the name being kicked around, and I don't know if I confused them with another band. I remember back then people were giving The Used a lot of shit. I don't know if I got them confused, The Bled, The Used, don't know. For whatever reason, I never checked them out until now, but if you're doing the same as me and missing out, don't check them out. The second one I discovered is someone who actually only listened to an EP by them, and I've heard that they apparently went a little bit downhill later on in their career, but I'll be the judge of that when I check out more, and it's the Color Revolt. So the Color Revolt are sort of an indie rock band, remind me of some of Deer Hunter's material to begin with, at least. And like I said, I've only listened to one EP, but there's a folky element to it, an almost like country element, and the vocalist has this really nice raw quality to him that I really enjoy. And I heard that apparently he loses that a little bit down the line and there's less passion in it, and I really hope that's not the case. I hope I just read some really scathing reviews rather than the more fair ones, because I really hope they keep this up after the EP, because that EP was pretty great. It, like I said, reminds me a little bit of the Deer Hunter, a little bit of like latter-day Me Without You, and as a big lover of both Me Without You and Deer Hunter, it seemed to really hit a sort of want to go out driving in the middle of the night and going nowhere while listening to this kind of vibe. If you don't know what I mean, man, get yourself some car ride music, because I love a good road trip album. Like last year, driving around in America, I absolutely loved listening to Delta Sleep while driving around. And I can imagine this Color Revolt EP fitting right into that car sort of playlist. So moving on to the last album or band that I discovered through my short use of Spotify was a band called Oh Brother. And I listened to, I think it was their it wasn't their newest one, I think it was the one that came before, and it was called Death of the Day, or Death of a Day. And It's this sort of sludgy post-rock without ever getting fully sludge, I guess. It's got really powerful vocals, and it's funny, it came at exactly the right moment for me because I was just talking to someone a couple of days ago about how much I wanted more powerful post-rock but with great vocals. Because I'll admit, as much as I love the instrumental side of music, meaning what all the instruments are doing, and as much of a music nerd as I am, I sometimes struggle to get into instrumental music. I don't know what it is, but very often I just feel like there's a piece missing. And with post-rock, especially with its sort of repetitive and slow building nature, sometimes it's absolutely the right thing to have no vocals, but sometimes I can't help but think this would be incredible with the right kind of vocals over it. And I know it's an unpopular opinion, but man, check out Oh Brother if you share that opinion. And it's O apostrophe brother, not OH. So check it out, it's pretty sick. So what bands have you discovered lately, whether it is through Spotify or somewhere else, and which ones have you been late to the party on? I'd love to get some more recommendations as always.